All right, here we are, Best Ever Conference 2025, and we have Matt Meyer. He happens to be neighbors here in our booth, but also neighbors here in Utah. And Matt and his company, Cost Segregation Consultants, are pretty incredible in that space because they actually, more important than just doing cost segregation, you got into that space because you guys are a CPA firm for some of the largest commercial guys in the market, at least, here in Utah and maybe beyond. So I'd love to hear you guys' story.
Yeah, that's great, Christian. Thanks for asking me to sit down and chat with you for a few minutes. Hey, pretty spot on. So our CPA firm, headquartered here in Draper, Utah, it's called Tusher Walpole LLC. Mike Tusher is our founding member and managing partner. We've been in the space and in business for a long time. We help a lot of clients from small to medium-sized business. We have a large presence with commercial real estate investors, which over the years we've found really unique tax strategies to make sure that we offset their tax liability and make them extremely profitable. And we do a lot of advisory services and tax planning with them to make sure that their businesses are running at the top that they can. And one of the offerings that we have is a cost segregation business. So Cost Segregation Consultants has been in business since 1998. We've done thousands and thousands of studies nationwide. Anything that you can think of that's in business for a business building from a business perspective, we've done those studies, saving our clients millions and millions of dollars over the years.
Yeah.
So it's been a very profitable business, and we're grateful that we've been able to help a lot of clients in the Silicon Slopes, if you will, as they call it these days. And we've seen a lot of growth, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And we're happy to be here. It's our first time at the show.
Well, we're glad to have you here. This is our second time at the show now. And, it's interesting when you come to shows like this, oftentimes the best connections we make are people that also have a booth, right? Other sponsors of the event. So it's really cool that way. And cost segregation, I think most people watching this will understand the basics of it. But what are some of the unique things that you see from a cost segregation perspective that a commercial real estate investor can do to either save themselves more money or to pass better savings on to their passive investors?
So what we like to do with a lot of our clients, some of the first unique things that we'll do is before that they purchase a new project or looking into developing a new project, they'll reach out to us and ask us, hey, what's the potential savings for this particular investment? And we run what a potential benefit may be for that, and then they can help use that for their client base. Say, hey, based on your type of investment, maybe they're doing a 1031 exchange, a like kind exchange into a project. Maybe they're coming in with new funds, or maybe they're have a small tick interest. We help them navigate those waters, right? So from the top down, we're helping every aspect of that to make sure that they're getting the best value of their investment and see long-term growth. Because ultimately, a cost segregation study, the reason you do it is it's the time value of money concept, right? A dollar today is worth more than it's going to be 5-10 years down the road.
Right.
And educating investors to actually understand that, hey, taking a 20% deduction on from your cost segregation study to be able to write off tax liability, invest in some of your new older projects or purchase new projects. There's compound growth there.
Yeah.
Right? So you take that money, invest it today, and the new investment property is making money 5-6 years down the road. You have now just compounded your growth. And it's we've been doing it for a very long time and very successful.
Yeah, very cool. Who is your ideal client? Like, who is the person that when they come to you, they're super impressed from what you guys do, and you're super grateful to have them as a client?
It's a wide range. You have your beginning investors, right, that are looking into their first duplex, triplex, maybe it's a single family home. right? And next thing you know, they have 5 or 6 single family homes, and they get into duplexes, triplexes, 8plexes, and then they bring on a few partners, and maybe now you're in a $10 million deal, $30 million deal. We see deals of $400-500 million up to $1 billion in property value. We've done a lot of things in the Wasatch Front, a lot of things in up in the ski resorts, on the floor down here in Salt Lake City and all around the surrounding areas. Done some things in oil and gas as well. I'm very versed in that. It's been a great thing for our company.
Yeah, very cool. Now, you guys have a client base that's pretty extraordinary, and you don't necessarily need to be doing outside advertising, or at least you haven't been doing much of it. What has you in this phase where you guys are now starting to get out to events and wanting to reconnect with new people?
Well, it's been a great opportunity for us. Word of mouth has been a way that our firm has grown, literally over the past 20 years. And a lot of people, they say, "Oh yeah, we've driven by your office right there on 15." And
that's what I said, by the way.
And so I see your billboards all the time: tax savings, cost segregation. But it's been word of mouth. We work in very tight circles, and our client base refers us quite often, and we do a lot of really good business that way. And we are in a position that we're looking to expand and growth. We have a growth model, and we're just looking. Look, our clients come first. Their success is the most important thing to us.
Yeah.
And like cost segregation, it's a subsidiary business. Sometimes cost segregation is not the right tax strategy for our clientele.
No.
Is it a big tax strategy? Absolutely. Is it one that we want them to utilize? If it's part of it. But there's multiple tax strategies that clients can use to offset tax liability. And we make sure we do what's right for our clientele and maximize their tax efficiencies and their savings,
right,
and set them up for success in the future, especially with our advisory services and tax preparation.
Yeah. So while we're on that topic, why don't you throw out a couple of the big ones from a commercial real estate standpoint that, aside from cost segregation, that people maybe want to think about? From outside of cost segregation, just tax strategies, things that they can do to save money or put themselves in a better
as a company starting out, it depends. There's a lot of your kickoff strategies, or we call them workhorse strategies. Right. So setting up your company's LLC correctly. Do you want it to be an LLC, or are you going to have it as an S corp? Right. Depending on that, there's a ton of tax strategy and other implications that you can help set up for the future. So it's actually starting at that ground level, making sure it's done correctly, and then picking it up from there. We have a lot of clients that already have some of those things in place. So we have to go and say, you know what, the way it was set up initially, if we did it, we changed some of the things or the way that the entities have been set up, there's additional tax savings and additional structures that can come from that, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different opportunities there. There's a lot between, the LLCs, paying for, your children, getting them involved in the business. There's just a plethora, about 9 or 10 initial that you get set up, and then you work with the more advanced strategies from there. And even a company's end of life, like valuations or them being sold, we do a lot of the specialty services too. I've been doing them for a very long time.
Got it. And what do you see as far as challenges that people see from when they start out as a beginning investor to scaling into a large, maybe $100+ million portfolio? What are some of those challenges that you see from your clients, and then how do you help them overcome them from a tax perspective?
I think in this industry, the number one thing that we've seen over the years is trust. Doing business the correct way. One of our largest clients, they look out and care for every single one of their investors, and they make sure that their investors make money before they do, and that they are taken care of. And those are the type of people that you need to vet out and make sure you're doing business with. Because it's not always about the dollar. It's about taking care of the individual.
Absolutely. Very cool. Well, I'm glad we got a chance to do this. Hopefully we get you down to the studio in Murray, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Christian, for your time.
Absolutely.